If you don't have a trained appointment setter inside of your business, I can guarantee you that there's 6 to 7 figures slipping through the cracks and it's sitting in your CRM right now as you're watching this video. Now, before you hop off this video and go check your CRM, let's get into exactly why you should be calling your leads. And if you're not calling your leads, what is the opportunity cost that you're missing out on right now? So there's 5 major problems that I see when I speak to business owners on a day-to-day basis that they should stop doing right now. So number 1 is they have their closers also working their inbound leads in their pipeline. Now, a closer is someone with high experience. You're telling them to do a low leverage task. So they're gonna be less willing to actually do the work that's required to put leads into the pipeline and on the calendar. Let them close. You're also probably relying on emails and text message, SMS follow-ups to book your inbound leads. Third is they generally don't have a lot of calls or interest coming into their business, into their funnel, into their CRM. 4 is they don't have proper systems and procedures and SOPs to take leads that are sitting in their CRM. Somebody who was interested, a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, having proper follow-up sequences to get those people back into your calendar. And the 5th one is they're just not reaching out to people who are interested fast enough. So if someone puts their information in a form or on an ad or responds to something on social media, you're not responding fast enough. That person is interested in that moment. You need to capitalize on that interest and that buying intent as soon as physically possible. Now, if you're watching this video and you don't know what an SDR is or an appointment setter is, let's bring you up to speed. So the first thing is a cold caller is somebody who works your pipeline or lead lists and calls them consistently 4 to 6 times on every single contact. So if you're relying on emailing, you should be calling people as well. Now, if you don't have a lot of bandwidth or somebody dedicated to do this, at least call the people who have responded positively to your emails. Those are essentially warm leads in my book. If someone responds positively, like, yeah, send me some more information, instead of going back and forth on email, just pick up the phone, call that person. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna have their phone number in their email signature. Now, it's simple math. Some people will reply to email. Some people are only going to pick up their phone. Take me as an example, right? Whenever I get cold emails, it's a very, very small likelihood that I read the whole email or even respond to it. I get enough emails. I don't want cold emails. But I'm a phone person. If you call me, my business is conducted via the phone. So whenever someone calls me, if it's somebody in my contact list, if it's someone who's a random number, I'm going to pick up. That's just how I work. So you need to think about your prospects. So if you're relying on one acquisition channel, let's just say email again, some people are never going to respond to your email, but they may pick up on the phone. So you need to diversify and inside of your business have multiple ways to interact and get in touch with your prospects. Now, another massive benefit of picking up the phone and actually talking to your prospects is you can overcome objections and you can turn no's into yeses in a live environment. If someone reads your cold email and doesn't like it or doesn't understand what you do, they may never respond or they respond not interested. Now, getting someone from a reply of not interested into a book call is very difficult through the written word. Being able to actually understand that person and have them in a live conversation is going to book you more meetings organically. It also is going to be really good to understand market feedback. So if you're calling your ideal customer, right? Say it's a chief marketing officer. You call them, you're going to be able to uncover and understand more pain points, more things that you should add into your marketing verbiage, your ads. It's going to give you a lot of product market feedback because it's a direct interaction. If you send out 10,000 emails, you only get 1,000 responses. You don't truly understand what is the issue, and it takes a lot of testing and A/B testing, subject line testing, call to actions, whatever it might be. With a phone conversation, you're gonna get raw data on a day-to-day basis that's gonna help you have a better marketing message. Now, the next is the role of the appointment setter. So a cold caller is different than an appointment setter. A cold caller is someone who reaches out to somebody who doesn't know what you do, doesn't know your business. An appointment setter is someone who sets appointments with people who are already interested. A lot of businesses, they have multiple ways where a prospect can get in touch with them, right? They have a form, a contact us on the website. They have a chat bot. They run ads. They have a funnel. They have a place where they're able to capture data into their CRM, this is where an appointment setter comes into play. That person's sole responsibility in your business should be picking up the phone and calling every single person, or at the very least emailing every single person, depending on what data you're gathering, and reaching out to that person as soon as physically possible. Within 5 to 7 minutes is the sweet spot. Anything over 20 to 25 minutes, your response rate decreases by around 60%, which is pretty insane, right? Because if you think about it, right, when you're buying something, right, you are evaluating multiple options, multiple vendors. So that person who submitted the information on your website has probably also submitted their information on 2 to 3 other websites of your competitors. Now, the first person who's going to get that meeting and have the best likelihood of closing that deal is ultimately going to be the company that reaches out to that person fastest. It also gives them a really good feeling, right? When you submit your information and they call you immediately, you already make the connotation in your brain that that company has their shit together. It gives them a good feeling that they have processes, they have people, they're a large established business. It's gonna make them feel like you are a good vendor because you're actually following up with your leads. Other appointment setters, they also do things that we call as a triage call or a discovery call or like an intermediary call between the cold caller appointment setter role and the closer role. With a lot of times, if you're running ads, a lot of unqualified people put their information in. Now, if you automatically allow those people to book time on your closer's calendar, it's gonna do 2 things. First, your closer is gonna get pretty pissed off if they're talking with unqualified prospects. And number 2 is it's a waste of calendar space that could be dedicated to a more qualified prospect. What you have an appointment setter do is a triage call. Let's say you ask 5 questions or 3 questions on your Calendly or your calendar booking form. What's the size of your company? What is your title? Are you the decision maker? What is your company's revenue at? How long have you been in business? Whatever your qualifications are, making sure that you get that information on the front end will ultimately determine if it requires a triage call or if it goes directly to your closer. If your threshold to work with somebody is $50,000 a month, right? And that person says that they do $20,000 a month. They may not be worthy of a closer yet. You have to qualify them. So they book a 15 to 20 minute triage call with your appointment setter. Your appointment setter is gonna hop on that call. They're gonna ask some rudimentary questions, make sure that that person is qualified, and then they're gonna set another meeting with the closer. This is going to up your efficiency. It's going to allow your closer to have more time slots for legitimate sales calls. It's going to improve your close rate, improve your qualified call rate, and everyone's going to make more money, and you're going to be much happier as a business because you're not spending money on ads that are producing low quality prospects and they're not getting through the CRM. Now, something that is also very important here is having a good process and a good relationship between closers and cold callers and appointment setters. So these roles are supposed to complement each other. So there's a really good book. It's called Predictable Revenue. If you haven't read it yet, it talks about the creation of Salesforce, massive company. Salesforce, and you can read it in the book if you haven't already, they had a system where they had their closers doing their business development. It was burning out the closers. So they created a 2-tier system. They had setters and cold callers, and they had account executives and closers. Having 2 people that are 100% focused on 2 separate, very different parts of the sales funnel is going to increase efficiency. Now, why this works so well is because you're evaluating and you're compensating these people for what is solely in their responsibility. I've been a full cycle closer. I've done it in the past. It doesn't work. You have ebbs and flows. When you start off as a closer, you don't have any pipeline, you don't have any sales calls usually. So you're focused on generating pipeline, booking appointments, but once those appointments run, you're focused on closing that deal. Whether it's a 2-call, 3-call close, you have the follow-ups, you got to work that deal. Now their focus is diverted to closing deals, which is ultimately how they're paid, right? You should be paid for the percentage of deals that they close. They're not paid for the number of meetings that they book. Obviously, they need to book meetings to get deals closing, but in a closer's mind, they're focused on what makes them money. So they're less focused on building pipeline. Once they work those deals, then they're like this. Oh shit, my pipeline's dry. Now I gotta scramble and book a bunch of calls. And it becomes a cycle of ups and downs, right? So if you look at your, QuickBooks, your Stripe account, you're gonna have down months and up months. And that is a direct correlation of that person's focus being diverted. Now, if you have 2 people who are focused on their own tasks, This person, the appointment setter, is evaluated and compensated for booking qualified calls that show up to the calendar, and the closer is paid on closed deals. It seems so simple when you say it, but a lot of people are lazy. They hire one person to do two roles, and they're curious why they're not growing their business. The main reason is you need two roles that are separate and focused on two very different tasks. What is the benefit to the business? Why should you listen to me? So I've been a full cycle rep. I've been a closer, I've been an appointment setter, and now I'm somebody who trains and places both of those individuals inside of businesses. I've done it over 350 times to date. I know what I'm talking about. If you have a closer who's working inbound leads, hire an appointment setter to help your closer. If you have just an appointment setter and you're closing your own leads, you're constraining your business big time because you're not able to actually grow the business. You're stuck on sales calls. I've been there myself, and you're probably worried that, somebody will never close just as good as the business owner, which is valid. But at the same time, for you to grow your business, you're gonna have to divert trust and allow someone else to close deals for your business. Now, the biggest benefits of doing this, you're gonna increase your lead flow directly off of the bat. If someone who's focused on creating leads and creating appointments, that's 100% their focus. You're ultimately going to increase that because you haven't had someone be 100% focused on that skill set. Number two, you're gonna increase your conversion rates. You're gonna have more touch points with that prospect. They're gonna show more often. They're gonna be more qualified due to your processes and having those people in place. You're gonna increase your conversion rate, your close rate, your qualified call percentage are all gonna go up by implementing an appointment set. Number three is a more efficient use of your resources. A closer setting meetings is a diversion of their skill set. They are a seasoned veteran in the sales game. They don't want to be doing it. Trust me, they don't want to do it. So just hire someone. They are going to view you as you're investing in their business and you're actually creating a sales process around them. And the biggest thing is that you're going to be able to create more acquisition channels for your business. So if you're not calling your leads right now, being able to call your leads is going to drastically improve your meeting booking percentage just because you're adding another client acquisition channel. If you're watching this video, you're like, this sounds like a great idea, and you want to hire an appointment setter, here's a couple of things to avoid. Not everyone is a good appointment setter. Appointment setting is a tough job. Trust me. I train them all day long. It is a very monotonous, mundane, and negative job, right? They're dealing with no's, they're dealing with rejection, they're dealing with hangups, they're dealing with clients who don't show up to the calls. They're calling leads who never respond from your ads. You need someone who's mentally tough. And the biggest thing that you should be hiring for is not their background. A lot of people that we talk to are like, oh, I need somebody who's had experience in my industry or in my niche. That is a big pitfall. You should not be hiring somebody who's had experience in that field. If they've had experience in the field, but they haven't been promoted, red flag. You should be hiring somebody based on their hunger, their tenacity, and their willingness to learn your offer, learn your niche, learn what it is that you do. That person will outwork and outperform somebody who's been in the industry for a long period of time and has built bad habits. Now look, if you want us to handle the entire process for you by placing and training an appointment setter into your business, tap that first link in the description. They're all trained by me and my team. They only get placed if they pass our program. So they have to pass multiple assessments to make sure that they're going to be able to provide an ROI for your business. You'll own that appointment setter internally. They work full-time. This is not outsourced. You hire them directly from us. And if you want to get a sneak peek at the cold call script we've used to generate over 157 booked qualified showed calls last month, hit the link on the screen somewhere here or the second link in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.